Because if I go, you can edit later anyway, can't you? Obviously.
I can edit anything.
Yeah. So I want the diagram there. You see the diagram?
Yes.
Cool. Because this whole concept of spiral into control came about because I was watching how people were coaching other people and it was so content driven. There's always this content. And what we find is that oftentimes the content is what the coach or the presenter believes to be correct. So they're putting in any kind of conscious, so they're putting in their spin on what's supposed to happen for the person. But the point is, everyone's different. Everyone has a process in their own way of doing things. So the concept is saying, let's look at the overall approach to how you change and grow, but you put in the details. So here's a skeleton, you add the meat. So the activities are designed throughout. It's activity-based, not content-based, because activities are the meat that belong to you. So therefore, you can have 10 people do the same program and you have totally 10 different looking outcomes. And that's important. So on the diagram here, that's the whole thing mapped out, is that it is a spiral effect, as the arrows here can indicate. It's a spiraling around effect. And we all begin with, just say, for example, some, a current behavior or a group of behaviors, whatever it is that you're doing. But to do that first is we have this behavior. So that's where we're in stage one, we're preparing. We have to go and look at ourselves. Who are we? So we're doing an audit or a stock take on ourselves. And there are activities for that, which are about discovering who you are in your words, in your own way. Not what someone told you, but what you say you are. Okay. And the idea is that from that, okay, so that involves a bunch of activities which are in the program. And from that, you're moving to the next step, which is stage two, where you're becoming aware of what you'd like to have, because the questions and activities you're going to be doing guide you from who you are now or what you're doing now to what is it you'd like to do. So we start to explore. So in this stage two, there's this concept of discovery. Let's discover who I am, what I'm doing. And so we go into more depth about the types of things you do. So, the activities, again, are designed to, again, press you for yourself. They're not easy activities. I mean, it's quite obvious that that someone could gloss through this quickly and easily because I'm just being a paying lip service. Oh, yeah. But if you're being serious, it's hard work. This is not a program for the lighthearted. For those who take it seriously, there's a massive learning to be done here. And it's very unique to themselves. So we need to find out, what is it? This is what I've done. In stage one, I worked out what I'm doing. Stage two says, what would I think would be better? How would I do it differently if I had the opportunity to do things differently? So exploring this, which leads you then, of course, to stage three, which is the start of your journey, because now you've worked out, notice they're all blue so far, the diagram. So now we've got this new behavior or behaviors, or it could be just thoughts or ideas, but you've got this now. You've thought about it, what I did have, what I'd like to have, what have I got? So then we've got to work out, as the next step there, strategies to create this. How do I do this? And so the activities are designed to start making you think, how do I do this? It's one thing to, I've got the idea, it's a lot different. Like, for example, I'd love to drive a car, said a 16-year-old, but he's never driven one. So how do I learn to drive the car? So we start to create ideas to make that happen. But here's the thing, and this is where the spiral effect comes into play, because, okay, I've got this idea, I'm going to apply it, which is stage four. But hey, guess what? Stage four may not last because it may not work. Hence, you might go backwards. We have to reassess what happened. It didn't work. Right? And if we reassess it, as you can see, reassessment goes to realignment back to behavior again. So there's a spiral happening right there. And you'll stay in that spiral until you get to the point where you're going from applying your behavior to achievement of desired outcome. And that's where you start to see the shift. And this is the really hard stuff now, because now we say I've done this. So we've activated something. Things are going on now. We've done all this work. We've come up to this conclusion. But here's the thing, how do we maintain it? Because we know, like everyone knows, that it's like the old-fashioned work programs we get or profiling systems people get in the workplace. You do it because you're told to do it and you put it in your drawer and you forget about it. So it has no value past what you did that day. So the point is, if you don't get it to a point of sustenance or maintenance, then what you've done at this point is just going to be for nothing. So we have to look at how, and as activities, how do I maintain this? If you look at your ideal reality, look at your concept of your awareness around other things about you. You look at other people even, perhaps. You might look at people and say, am I doing what they're doing? Is it okay to be who I am? So we've got this situation, but of course, don't forget, that maintenance can lead you right back down to starting again in the spiral, back to stage three, the reassessment, because it wasn't working. It didn't keep going. Something happened. So you're back to that point and you go again. There's a cycle. So the whole concept of spiraling into control is just that. There's no such process ever says take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps, I've arrived, good on me. Everyone knows the good old human behavior and cognition says we'll go up and we'll go down, we'll go round and about, hopefully 2 steps forward, 1 step back, not 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But the point is, and a lot of people don't like this. I think that a lot of people get the idea that, well, I haven't progressed, I haven't changed. What's wrong with me? Well, there's nothing wrong with you. You're human. Simple as that. And that's what people do. You make a step, you explore it. That was brilliant. Oh, that was crap. Excuse the French. What do I do now? I'll try it again. I'll do this. I'll change that a little bit. I'll look at that diagram again. With the activity, I'll change what I've done because now I've read that didn't work. I'll move on. And so when you do this whole program, there is those 4 stages or 7 steps for a reason. That reason is to be able to identify where things worked best or didn't work best for you. So that, for example, and I say to people, if you do this, don't stop and start. For example, I don't get to stage 2 and think, well, I can't get this, I'm stuck. Move on. Do the whole process right to the finish, but then come back to the parts that you need to work on because you've now identified areas in that cycle that didn't go as well as you'd like. So now you can say, I've seen the big picture. Because I love the big picture. The big picture tells you everything. From a helicopter looking down, you see everything. On the ground, you only see what you can see around you. So do the whole thing. And then you'll know, I'm really good at this. I did that great. Oh, you know what? I could do more work on whatever. And so go back to that particular set of activities in that particular step or stage and do it again. And then see how it works. And so the whole concept is literally over a period. It could take you a week, it could take you 6 months. It doesn't matter. It's not a time precious thing. It's a process of growth. So, again, we're all different. We all have different backgrounds and thinking styles and all these sort of things we taught in school. Therefore, I always say to people, don't beat yourself up. Just because one person can read it and get it, and you don't have to hear it to get it, it's fine. You're a different person. Do what you need to do so you can achieve the outcome you're after. And that's why at the end of each of those stages, there's also a statement you have to make to yourself. Starts from a statement of intention back on the very first one. I intend to do this. Leading through the right at the end was a positioning statement. I have done this. This is who I am. This is what I've become. And of course, it's very hard. I think for most of us, it's very hard not to feel proud of yourself when you can write a statement that says, wow, look what I've just done. And of course, that applies to your daily life. It applies to your relationships. It applies to what you do at work. It applies to everything, right? Because on the side of this, there's something else that I call the daily engagement behaviors, which means that every day we're going to change and grow. And this is part of that process. Every time we change, because we learn something, we change how we do something next day. It's spiraling as well. Okay, and we're never, it's like an intelligence test. People say, well, my IQ is 150. Well, you know what? Tomorrow it could be 160 if you do some more reading. It's not concrete, it's movable. So is your way of approaching the world, it's movable. You're not stuck in stone, but the more you stick yourself in stone, the harder it is to get away from the rocks. The more you choose to be on top of the rock and see the world and change and grow with it, the more you will experience change and growth. And the more you will get out of your life doing it. So in a nutshell, that's really what spiraling control is about. It's not about the content, because you are the content. So I guess the answer is you can have 100 people do the course. Not one person will necessarily have the same answers or the same feeling of success as the next person. But everybody will have a success in their own way. And everybody, when they get to the last little point, right at the top of step 7, will almost invariably know that step 7 is really step 1 when it starts again. Because now you're stepping up to another level, another point of success. And you're seeing things differently. So therefore, and if, for example, let's pick on a person that we all know, Richard Branson. Right? If he did this process in his way, back in the early days when he was a nobody, he had to do an idea. No one liked it. He had to reassess. How do I do it? I'll change this, change that. That worked. That didn't work. Change it again. And he grew. And now he's got 300-400 companies. Does he approach it the same way as he did then? No. Because as he spiraled, he changed and grew. So when he got to his step 7, for example, it's really his next step 1. And step 7 of that section of groups becomes step 1 again. So everyone's the same, from the kid at school to the most successful person in the world. We go through those 7 steps over and over again.